They didn't build Rome in a day, but I built an entire castle in 5 minutes. Maybe the Romans should have played more board games. Today I'm going to be reviewing the board game slash toy slash war simulator Crossbows and Catapults made by Restoration Games. Thanks for sending this to me. This is Angry Birds in real life. I've never played Angry Birds ever. This is what I've been told what Angry Birds is like. Crossbows and Catapults is a game where you and your opponent build your own castle, set up your warriors, and then fling tokens from across the table to destroy their home that they just built. This is a great game for someone who loves board games to get someone to play who is not too familiar with the hobby. I feel that the board part of a board game can be pretty intimidating for someone who isn't used to it. The fact that you build your own castle, making you bond with your playfield, is a great way for a casual player to feel more invested. There aren't a ton of rules to go through either. I can maybe explain the actual gameplay in 5 minutes. I would recommend this for a kid's first board game when they're able to handle a few rules and do not want to eat these tasty looking goblins. I could also see this being a fun date idea for someone you're getting to know, depending on your risk. I would also happily bust this out if I had a friend over and we're looking for something goofy to do. The variety of weaponry provides this game a little depth and stylization more than you would probably give this game credit for. I personally was a tiny catapult main and used it 90% of the time, while my roommate used the mega catapult when he wanted to shoot from behind his castle, used the smaller catapult from the midsection of the field, and used the mega crossbow for up-close assassinations. I'll be honest, we hardly wanted to use the original crossbows because they didn't feel as thematic and they didn't feel nearly as hype as using the weapons with a bit more oomph to them. It seems as if they found the perfect balance of having a stable foundation for their castle pieces and the power of their weapons. We built some thick structures, so the games did last a while, but luckily I never felt the games were too long before we got to use most of our decks. And here we get to the cards. These cards give you abilities that make this game go from light fun to chaotic madness that really makes the experience what it should be. There's a card that lets you grab a token and let you drop it from your hand as long as it's the length of the box. And there's one where if you land the token near one of your enemy's warriors, then you get to just have one of them as one of your warriors. These power-ups can provide a little boost for a turn like extra actions, or they can add on insane abilities that if you've never played this before would seem completely broken, but we were happily surprised to find out they just add a lot more fun factor than just taking turns launching tokens plainly. Something I wanted to mention is that Fortress War Edition is $90, which is a chunk of cheddar. And if you wanted the Weapons Cache expansion pack that comes with the bigger catapult and the bigger crossbow that I find really important for the game, it's another extra 15 bucks. There is a cheaper version called Castle Battle that's 30 bucks, but it doesn't have cards, as many castle pieces, and it's lacking the special character figures. Where I would describe Fortress War Edition as a fun game that is toyetic, I would call the Castle Battle Edition a toy that is game-like. You can also purchase extra castle pieces to add on for later too, if you don't need all the official bells and whistles and just the castle pieces and extra weapon expansions. Overall, Crossbows and Catapults is a game where you can be as casual as you want, or it can provide a lot more strategy than one would expect if you are someone who wants to be a little competitive. If you can afford it, and if you're looking for a silly time, you'll find yourself having moments of shots working out that you didn't expect. Like this one time my roommate was aiming for the top of my castle, but accidentally hit a glass in my hand and ricocheted and killed my general. He assassinated my general from the back of the castle. This game has an explosive factor to it that I want to show all my friends, and I feel like I can show anyone and know that they'll feel excited and ready to play in a quick amount of time. I'd like to thank Restoration Games for sending me the game. It was a pleasure to play, and it was a pleasure to share my experience with you.